this year. For promotional information, visit Huskers.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with VenueDelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 24th are pre-packaged picana for just $7.99 per pound. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting lots of sunshine with an afternoon high of around 82. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a little breezy as well. We'll see a low of around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see a chance of showers and storms take place throughout the day. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with a high of around 76. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to another week of On the Block. I'm Austin Norman with you live in our 93.7 Ticket Studios, northwest corner of 11th and O Street. Hanging out here a lot, and I love it. It's a great view of downtown. Had a great tailgate on Saturday. But missing a big piece of it, my partner, Eric Strickland, who is handling business. Stricky, when we left you on Friday, you had business to take care of. Business handled?
Yeah, it got handled. Very much, really close to. Hopefully, I'm really hoping we can have the clinic open. We're looking to open an open wound clinic there in Gretna. Which is a mobile clinic where we'll be able to go into people's, houses, especially those who are not able to get out and move. And maybe the transportation situation is a little bit hard. Maybe families, maybe that are working, may not have the ability to do so. Where we're unique, we go in. So got a lot of the paperwork done, the insurances and all that stuff, just the stuff tidied up. And it was good. It was good to get that handled. And at the same time, get a chance to watch a great baseball game. Between the Rangers and the Houston Astros, man, that's a phenomenal thing. We was just sitting up with a few friends and just watching that game. It was really intense, and so A lot of great college stuff happening, some NFL stuff happening. NBA is about to jump off, and then really soon, another week or so.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow. That's right. So, yeah, man. It's a lot of stuff in the news today.
There sure is. We'll definitely talk some NBA tomorrow. A couple big games to open the season. We turn our attention to college, though, today. A lot of college football news. A lot going on with Nebraska. I do want to say this, though. Big thanks to Ricky C. Simmons last night. He brought me Mary Ellen's, Ricky. He shared his Mary Ellen's with me. It was awesome.
Ricky up there sneaking into Mary Ellen's to have a wonderful taste of some great food. You guys all just have an opportunity to just go out and get a taste of it, man. I think you will welcome it and feel really good about taking the time to go out to 27th and Pine Lake, man. Just go out there and take a look and see what you got, because Charles and the crew, they do a wonderful job.
They sure do. Really appreciate them for sponsoring On the Block. Again, 2 to 4 weekdays here on 93.7 The Ticket. 402-464-5685. Those are the important numbers for you to get into the show if you have a text or a call. Any thoughts on anything happening across the country in college football or right here at home? Nebraska beats Northwestern 17-9. We'll get into some more particulars about the game next segment, Strick. But Matt Rule had his, post-game, early in the week, press conference. Huge injury news for a team that's already been bitten by pretty much every injury bug out there. Ethan Piper went down during the game. He's out for the year with a knee injury. Turner Corcoran, one we didn't know about till today, out for the year with a foot injury. You have Nuri Nuili, who had surgery today. He's going to try to be back here in a couple weeks. We'll see about that. Billy Kemp went down on the ground writhing in pain. He at least walked off. It's an MCL sprain for Billy Kemp. Again, hoping to be back in early to mid-November. And Tommy Hill went down with an ankle injury, didn't play in the second half. He's day-to-day. More news that this Husker team didn't need across the board. It's affecting offense. It's affecting defense. And yet, down some of these key guys, Strick, Nebraska still found a way to win a football game.
Well, that's the thing I think you can take from this is you can look at this, the injury situation, and it can be negative. It is bad. It's obviously affecting them, right? You can look at the receiver core. That's just one area of the many that you just cannot afford to have a loss. But it's allowing space for the young guys. Obviously, Malachi Coleman comes in and he lands a 44-yard touchdown and one catch. But it's dismal. So you can look at areas where it's really bad. It's worrisome. You can look at the quarterback situation and say, wow, you don't even get over 100 yards of passing. But then you can look at some of the positives, right? When you just really go down and break down the stats, you look at it on the defensive side of things. Here's one. Here's one area. You look at 3 fumbles. This is troublesome. 3 fumbles, 2 INTs. Early INTs in this game where 2 of the 3 possessions literally could have put you down 14-0, like really quick, right? Mm-hmm. Then you still have 3 fumbles, but bless you didn't, take fumble losses. So those are some negative things that you can say we got over the hump because you created a few of those situations for yourselves as well. Didn't necessarily get turnovers, but your defense was stout. In the red zone, I mean, I know a couple times where Big Hushmacher, let's give shout out, big polar bear. The polar bear played like a beast. I was watching him get off the ball, and he's actually quicker than I actually expected. I knew there was a physicality between Nash, but I didn't expect him to hit those gaps the way he's hitting them. And then the strength to get between the offensive linemen and to get in the face of the quarterback pretty quickly. I mean, shout out to Nash. 2.5 sacks for him. They ate 8 sacks. They ate. I mean, Prince, look good. Everybody, the linebackers on their blitz packages, they look good. So those are positives when you look at it from that standpoint. Then you've got to look at the running back position, right? You've got to look at Emmett Johnson. 12 carries, 73 yards, puts them at 163, for the day. Solid, 4.2 average. I think that's a good average for them if they're going to have any type of success. They've got to continue to have that running game. But we knew that they were going to be stout. Northwestern was going to come with it. They were going to put a whole bunch of people in the box. They were able to get away with it this week. I just don't know if it's sustainable as these games continue to increase. They can't have the issues that they had against Purdue, Austin, and expect to win this game. It just can't happen. I mean, I think Purdue is a better team than Northwestern, but a win's a win. And it's allowing for these young guys, Austin, to be able to grow and get better. Yes, you're going to take your lumps. Yes, they're young. They're going to be freshmen and sophomore, definitely at the line position. Hopefully Ben Scott leadership and some of those other guys, hopefully get Nuri back, but they're very thin there. We're just hoping that they can continue to just grow and learn from this process and get better.
As fans, you would much rather learn through winning, right? Find a way to win the game instead of having to stomach another loss. I think this group, Strick, has a good head on its shoulders. I think Matt Rule and his coaching staff have instilled a pretty good attitude in these guys that they can be happy that they won the game, but not satisfied with their performance. I'm with you in that Purdue doesn't score 3 points on 3 drives that start in Nebraska's territory. Purdue puts up at least a touchdown, maybe 2 if they start on, the plus side of the 50-yard line. But at the same time, Nebraska's defense played lights out. It answered the bell. And Strick, that's where I think in 2021, the defense played pretty well, was put in some tough spots by the offense, but wasn't able to ever get over the hump. They'd still give up that touchdown late. Michigan kicks the field goal after they're put in a bad spot in the game. Nebraska had Michigan on the ropes. But Illinois, that defense stepped up after Nebraska, tried to give the game away a few times. You go into a bye week, you come out of it, and 2 interceptions early, the ball's on the carpet. The defense forces Northwestern backwards. Doesn't even hold them in place. They make Northwestern go backwards. That is a huge step in the right direction for this group to say, this is the side of the ball that we're going to plant our flag on.
They're going to put it on their shoulders. I mean, it's good where Coach White is just basically saying, look, there's going to be games, fellas. We're going to have to put it on our shoulders. We're going to have to get the job done. Yes, there's going to be mistakes. You can't get frustrated by the mistakes. Look at it as an opportunity to be able to shut down the opposition, be able to help out the offense. Now, I want to look into a little bit deeper into some of these stats, right? Because there's still some more positives, right? You had not only that, it was a wide range of, like I said, the sacks. I don't want to go into everybody's name. You had an interception by dual threat, multifaceted player in Tommy Hill. Then good quick return numbers. One of those put them in positive range. It was a 36-yarder, put them at about the 40. Solid. Then you look at Tristan Alvano, banged with a lot of space and room to go. I think that one, if I remember correctly, was even into the wind.
It was, yes.
So into the wind kick, he right down the freaking chute. That's a positive. And then you even look at Bushini and 7 kicks. He averaged over 41 yards. That means you're flipping field. Why? 4 out of the 7 are inside the 20-yard line, and you had a 55-yarder. So I don't want to just look at specifically one area of the game. I'm looking at totality because I think they all play a part. And if those others can continue to enhance the game by doing their part, I think they got a chance to continue to win games in this stretch.
We'll look at some of the small details as we continue on the show, but big picture, if you zoom out and look at it as a whole, Nebraska won. Nebraska won a game that it's lost so many times before, and that's a step in the right direction for this program. That's above 500 in October for the first time since 2016. That sits 2 wins away from bowl eligibility. A small goal, but a step in the right direction nonetheless. He's Strick. I'm Austin. Yeah,
real quick, Austin, you got to remember, this team was fighting against Penn State. I mean, they were giving them everything they wanted. And so that's why I don't want it to be missed that this is not like, I mean, yes, we know they're struggling. They're not, but to hold them to 9 points, like, you're doing a job. They did the job. So I just wanted to salute them. They really did. Shout out to the whole staff and getting it done.
Amen to that. Ryan in Nashville on the Starter Heyman text line says, the West is a toss-up, and I love it. It is. And we'll talk more about that as the week goes on with another important Big Ten West game coming up at the end of the week, Nebraska and Purdue. We'll talk some more Nebraska Northwestern when we get back. We'll take a look at some of the young pieces on offense. Heinrich Harburg, not his best game, but he won. Malachi Coleman, a big play. And Emmett Johnson, welcome to the stage. We'll talk more about that, more Huskers and Northwestern reactions as we continue on the block.
Husker fans, head coach Amy Williams and your Husker women's basketball team want to see you at Pinnacle Bank Arena this season. Season tickets are on sale now. Reserve your spot to cheer on the Huskers as they take on some of the best teams in the Big Ten and around the country. Opponents include Creighton, Maryland, Indiana, Iowa, and more. To buy tickets, go to huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED. They have a full season of fun set for this year. For promotional information, visit huskers.com.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. October is pork month, and here are the specials for the week of October 23rd. Enjoy all-natural, thick-cut Iowa chops for $1.88 per pound, extra meaty pork loin back ribs for $3.99 per pound, and bacon-wrapped pork tenderloin, 2 for $5 for 6 ounces of meat. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 24th are pre-packaged picana for just $7.99 per pound. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
It's time to get the Class A high school football playoffs rolling right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Seacrest Field as number 6 Lincoln Southeast faces off against number 11 Lincoln East. When these two teams met back on September 1st, the Spartans won a double overtime thriller, 31-28 over the Knights. The winner keeps their season alive while the loser goes home. It's the Lincoln Southeast Knights against the Lincoln East Spartans this Friday night in the first round of the postseason at 7 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, expecting lots of sunshine with an afternoon high of around 82. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a little breezy as well. We'll see a little over around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see a chance of showers and storms take place throughout the day. Otherwise, probably sunny skies with a high of around 76. Meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block with you from 2 to 4 here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Streaming worldwide for you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as our free app for your phone. We will also refer to our Allo VIP line later in the show. Allo understands the importance of exceptional service with local heart. They sponsor our VIP line as well as Channel 951. All right, Strick, back on Husker football, 17-9 win over Northwestern. Can't say enough about the job the defense did. The offense remains a work in progress. It's on the struggle bus. Some of that due to injuries. Let's start with the quarterback position in Heinrich Harburg. Not his best game. I think that's very fair to say. Ran the ball somewhat effectively, was mostly kept in check. Throwing the ball, it started out rough. But what I was impressed with, Strick, was how Heinrich Harburg just gamered his way through it. He didn't get down by those 2 interceptions. He stayed after it. He didn't, get discouraged. He kept trusting his guys. And those mistakes could have come back to bite him. He could have folded mentally, hung his head and said, crap. Here comes Jeff Sims. There's my shot. There it goes. But credit Heinrich Harburg for his mental toughness, the staff for speaking that life into him. So many times we've seen Nebraska quarterbacks let those turnovers get to them and affect the outcome of the game. Heinrich Harburg had to lean on his defense, but he bounced back and was much better after that first quarter.
Yeah. You said, with the words that you said was gamer, right? The fact that he was resilient. There were a couple of big plays, a couple of big runs, first downs that he were able to get to move the chains. So he was successful in doing what was needed. And this is why I said it was so important for this team on the special team side of things to make up some of the ground, the defense, to be able to get a stop or to get a turnover. That was the importance of them winning this game today. I didn't know how much they were going to move the ball. We didn't know how the passing game is going to do. But let's just talk about this because I want to throw this back at you. When you look at the offensive side of things, you look at Emmett Johnson, you look at the youth, you look at Fleets, you look at the guys that they're using now, Jaden Dawson and those guys, right? When you look at that part of the offense, you've got to consider that these guys are getting valuable in experience in a time where depth is going to be the thing that you're going to have to rely on. The depth, the development, and the growth of the team by way of just each step of the way growing, getting better. learning each other. How do we compete? How do we win games when we're struggling? They're getting a chance to learn this stuff now. And I think that's invaluable, right? But now you asked me a question about Harburg and those guys. Here's the next part of it. What are they going to come back with next year?
Mm-hmm.
Who is he going to be working with in the offseason? I think I sent you a video of Dylan Raiola, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Working with, Tom Brady's coach.
Tom House.
Right?
Yeah.
Who is Harburg going to work? He's going to need that because he's got to develop. It's the same thing that I told you about why there's an issue with Ben Simmons. He never grew. He never developed. He never enhanced his game. He never worked on a jumper. This is what we're going to have to see out of these guys. What is it going to look like for Emmett Johnson? How is his third down, blocking, and all of those things are going to get better for him. And then the route running, the releases, understanding when zones are there, understanding when so those guys that are on the wide receiver, how are they going to grow? That's going to be the difference on how good this team becomes in the future.
Absolutely. And again, I go back to these guys are learning on the fly in a lot of ways, and yet they're still winning. They're still finding ways to get it done. Yes, you credit the defense for a lot of that, but despite the struggles, Harburg stepped up in that big moment. Credit Marcus Satterfield for, I think, pushing the right button and redeeming a lot of questionable play calls from earlier in the game. Perfect time, perfect situation to dial up that long pass. Credit Harburg for sticking his back foot in the ground, letting it rip. Credit Coleman. Matt Rule did as much in the postgame, too. That's a love of the game route. You don't get it all that often, but Malachi Coleman ran the route like he was going to get the ball. Lo and behold, he did. He hauls in his first career touchdown pass. Emmett Johnson was the guy I was really impressed with, Strick. He didn't light the world on fire in the game, but you saw some tough runs. You saw some elusiveness. You saw a little bit of burst. And then even at the podium in the postgame, he spoke like a young man, mature beyond his years. All three of those guys have work to do in the offseason. To your point, Harburg needs to clean up mechanics and get even further along mentally, not just lock into one receiver, get quicker. Malachi Coleman needs to get more technical. He has all the physical ability in the world, but learn how to run routes, be precise in that. Emmett Johnson, I think, could stand to bulk up a little bit and still find a way to add a little bit of extra burst. But if you tell me that those three guys are starting for Nebraska next year, do I love it? Am I in love with it? Do I think that's an all Big Ten winning offense? Probably not. But I think that's a group that can grow together in that continuity. You see that across sports. If guys have years to play together, they learn each other's tendencies, where to get them the ball, when to get it to them. And I think that could portend bigger and better things next year.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. There's no doubt about it that's an important piece to the success of a program. But at the same time, my thing is this. You still got a guy that you believed in that you still need to try, test, and see, because now is the time to find out who's who. This is where you're going to find out what line. This is how what's going to happen now over the rest of this season with the injuries that they have. This is where you're going to find out where you really need to go and get the depth or get the additional players, because you're going to find out very quickly who can play and who don't belong, right? Who's going to need more development time. That's what they're going to find out right now. That's why I don't care about it. I still think they're 2 games away. I still think there's 2 games out there that they can win to get to a bowl game. That would be a huge boost to the program. But I also say this is find out who's really real time right now too.
Because you don't have any other choice, right?
Yeah,
if you're a freshman, you're getting thrown on the field. Your 2 choices are sink or swim, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be playing Division I football if you're willing to sink. Do everything you can to keep your head above water and find those moments to succeed. Malachi Coleman did that with the deep ball. Heinrich Harburg has done that with his legs. Emmett Johnson, kind of came out of nowhere. Strick, I think I said this on our show. I was worried about what this coaching staff thought about Emmett Johnson when they moved Joshua Fleeks above him on the depth chart, but he stayed ready. He took advantage of his opportunity, had a really just workmanlike, solid performance there. So these young guys, and then on the offensive line, we mentioned those injuries, Strick, but Teddy Prohaska coming off a couple injuries. Okay, big fella, you going to sink or you going to swim? The job's yours. There's no one behind you. Go get it. Justin Evans Jenkins has bounced back and forth between center and guard. another young guy they like, but okay, it's you. It's your job. Henry Lutovsky to some degree, who's rotated in here and there, but with Nuri Wheelie being out, that job is his. I think that this staff has done a good job and will continue to do a good job of not allowing these young players, both at the skill positions and on the offensive line, to say, okay, we're starting, we made it, work's done. I think this is a staff that's going to continue to push them to say, okay, you're starting, but nothing's guaranteed. Show us what you got and prove you can be a piece of the future.
Think about the conversations you can have now too, right? Like, regardless, you can't have an excuse of I'm young.
No,
you can't have an excuse of, I just don't know. No, you've been here long enough now. You should have been. No, what ends up happening is you got caught slipping, where you thought that it was just going to be a year of just sit and relax and kind of watch and observe. But no, you're in the mix. So think of the conversations that you can have now, Austin, if you're a coach, because you're out there. Are you performing? When I sit down and look at exit meetings and when we have these discussions together, I can put you on tape. I can do that at practices too, but even the more. So if I bring another guy in, why are you leaving, young fella? I mean, like, I can literally have it, because what I'm trying to do at Nebraska, I'm trying to build depth. I need multiple guys at multiple positions that can come in and help, but that want to be here, right? So I can really have those discussions now, Austin. I can sit down and say, you know, what's the issue? What's the problem? Well, you brought in well, let's look at these tapes. How did you grade? Did you perform? Why do you think I should just give it to you? You should just be granted the position? No, you got to compete, because I need more out of you. Now, if you would have overwhelmed me on the tape, if you would have overwhelmed me in the grading, I have no choice but to say, yeah, you are a guy. You know what I'm saying? I might be hesitant to go get another one. So you can have those real discussions with them now that you're getting a chance to see these young players.
You can have those real discussions with them, and then it's in their court, right? Because some of them will run from that challenge and say, nah, I did enough, or I thought I did. Some of them will say, bet, coach. Okay, here's what I did well. Thanks for using me that way. Here's where I can get better. Help me get better. Help me help this offense go to that next level. Emmett Johnson seems like he's a guy that won't run from that challenge. I mean, he even said in the post conference, 400 some days from getting on campus to play his first meaningful snaps and then to get his first start. Heinrich Harburg is going to constantly be compared to Zane Flores, right or wrong. Zane goes to Oklahoma State. Heinrich comes to Nebraska. You know, that's what he's competing against to other people, but he's competing against himself in that room. His measuring stick is, how do I beat out Jeff Sims and Chuba Purdy and keep this spot? Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem like a kid that's going to run from the grind. And Malachi Coleman had offers from all over the place. He wanted to play receiver. Nebraska gave him that chance. So I think the temptation would be, okay, they let me play wide receiver. I'm a local kid. I can take my foot off the gas. I'm good. I'll develop at my own pace. But then you hear the young man talk. You see everything that he's been through, his family background, and he's going to keep the pedal to the metal. If those three guys are among your leaders next year, I think that helps Matt Rule and all the offensive staff push that same message onto the next wave of players, that it's not your time yet, but you have to be ready because your time could come. We hope we don't have injuries like this ever again in the future, but we can't really control that. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
There it is. Yeah. There's a lot better messaging that I think fits what Nebraska's trajectory that I've talked about before is like other programs that maybe have, you know, a supersonic, you know, jet as opposed to a supersonic airliner that's going to climb to the same heights, but just takes time to get there. I think this what's happening with Nebraska football right now fits in the mold of the trajectory that I think they could have in their growth.
Absolutely. We were going to talk basketball to finish out hour one of the show, but we got an update from the Michigan sign stealing scandal. We'll get to that. Some new reporting has come out on that. We'll touch on that to wrap up hour one of On the Block here in just a sec.
Okay, everybody. Ready to go caroling?
Are the people in your neighborhood nice?
Oh, you bet. Well, you know, everybody except
Mr. Carpenter.
Now, come on, Jim. He's just a little cranky.
Are you kidding? Last year, he chased us down the street with a rake.
I'm sure he was just having a bad day. Now, here's his house. Everybody smile and get ready to run.
Well, hello, everyone. It's so great to see you all. Are you okay, Mr. Carpenter?
Oh, yes. I just bought a bunch of Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic scratch tickets. Until January 3rd, 2024, when you enter non-winning holiday tickets online, you have a chance to win $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000. Talk about a classic little Christmas. In fact, I'm so merry, I'd like to give you all some tickets.
Oh, what a nice gesture, Mr. Carpenter. Is there anything we can do for you?
Yeah, shovel my driveway. And don't sing.
Top prize odds vary by game.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 24th are pre-packaged picana for just $7.99 per pound. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and man, the October incentives get better. You won't want to miss this. Happening right now at Koppel, you have 0% financing or $6,500 off MSRP on select new half-ton crew cab pickups. Yes, you heard right. Happening right now until the end of the month. 0% financing or $6,500 off sticker price. Those incentives are the best we've seen this entire year. Hurry on in while supplies last. Just take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All offers include trade-in bonus and with roof credit.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Be sure and call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technician will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Most parents have a homework schedule for the weekdays, but don't forget to cover the weekends. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. A good way to avoid a problem is to set a homework schedule for the weekend. Set aside a couple hours of homework time on Saturday and help your student avoid staying up late Sunday night to finish a project. Remember, communicating with your child's teacher is vital for student success.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Putting a bow on hour one of On the Block, I'm Austin Norman, joined by Eric Strickland. All right, Strick, we have an update from Ann Arbor. Michigan beats the brakes off of Michigan State 49-0 Wolverines. They score early, they score often, and they score late. This is not an on-field development, though. It's in the sign stealing scandal. So Pete Thamel.
What do we call that, Austin? Do we call that sign gate, steel gate? What do we call it?
Sign gate.
Double S gate, sign and steel gate. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it because they've got deflate gate. They've got all kinds of these gates. I just want to know what this was going to be called at the end of the day. I don't know. Maybe we should make it up here on the block. Shout out 402-464-5685. If you got a good name for what this is, steel gate, sign gate. I don't know. Give me a good name. I want to know. I just popped in my head. Go ahead, Austin.
No, I'm with you. We need a better name for it. For whatever it was that was going on. But the update. Again, Pete Thamel tweeted this out. That's where I first saw it. Sources say Michigan staffer Connor Stallions bought tickets for more than 30 games at 11 Big Ten schools over the past 3 years. This was not an isolated incident. Our man was getting around. Thamel said also video evidence of sideline taping is expected to be sent to the NCAA this week. He was caught by stadium surveillance in a number of places. So this man was not slick. He was not sly. He was very well traveled. He was doing it in broad daylight, and it's catching up with him.
So at this point, what do you go to? I mean, so then you're going to have to go to communications. You're going to have to start looking at phones, records, all of that. Who is he communicating with? Definitely it's probably not going to lead up right to Harbaugh, but if it gets close enough to him, then that's where it's going to be a problem. This is where I really do hope that the Michigan football program doesn't have to take egg on their face and fall flat, because it would just absolutely stink to high heaven to get to a position, Austin, where you've made it, you've overcome. We have overcome. You've overcome. You've broken through. You're now leading the pack in an emerging Big Ten conference, and then all of a sudden you get smacked with some penalties that could literally, when you don't need this to happen, throw your program into a 7 to 10 year potential, if not more, loop of trouble, because guys aren't going to want to come because guys want to be seen.
The icing on the cake, the chef's kiss to top this all off, was this staffer bought one ticket on each sideline for the Penn State-Ohio State game, and both tickets went unused. So his suspension, he did not use it to take a trip down to Columbus, so he didn't get signals from there. I'll throw this out here, Strick. This will set us up nicely for where we want to go with our college football weekend recap next hour. Michigan has, according to Vegas, unseated Georgia as the college football playoff championship favorite. Are you buying Michigan as the best team in college football, even with this going on?
I'm just not sold. I'm sold in their running game. I think their defense is tremendous and phenomenal. I'm just not sold at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sold yet.
Fair.
I definitely, now I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen with this Ohio State, game. That's the one I'm going to be watching. Penn State blew it once again. Let's just call it what a TI is. Penn State had an opportunity to break through. This was the year of the breakthrough in the Big Ten to put yourself in a position to be one of the leaders of the charge, because you can have conversations in the recruiting battles and you could call it, yo, we did it, we're on our way, and we need you to take us to the next level. You know what I mean? You could have, but now, they blew it. They blew it.
They did. We will talk more about Penn State. We'll talk some more about some other top teams in the country that struggled this weekend. There wasn't a whole lot of domination a la Michigan over Michigan State. We'll talk about some of those games. Great text to send us to break. Thunder Knot Collins on the Starter Heyman text line says, I made a sign for the show today, but Michigan stole it. Gosh darn it, Michigan. Now you're messing with us too. That is not going to stay.
Oh, wow. That's absolutely hilarious. I love it, though. Hey, let's get it.
Thunder Knot Collins, well done. Again, if you have a better name than Signgate for what's going on up at Michigan, let us know, 402-464-5685. Or what was your favorite game of the college football weekend? Let us know. We'll dive into that. Take a look across the country and across the conference. In hour 2 of On the Block here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha. Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Be sure and call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technician will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers 118th anniversary sale is going on right now. This sale only comes around once a year, so don't miss your chance to save 20% or more on everything diamond. Bridal and engagement rings, bracelets, earrings, and all diamond jewelry, 20% off or more. Our lowest prices of the year, now through October 25th, only at Sutter Heyman's 118th anniversary sale. Lincoln and Grand Island or SutterHeyman.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That it is, with you for one more hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I'm Austin Norman in Lincoln, joined by Eric Strickland on the road. You'll be back tomorrow, right, Stricky, if all goes well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent. We will look forward to seeing you back here in studio. Also, I'm sure people from Wednesday on might be lucky enough to see you down at 27th and Pine Lake.
Yeah, Wednesday on, man. I'll be back for a little bit. So, yeah, other than I'll be out again on Thursday. But there's a birthday stuff I've got to do. But other than that, man, after that, I'll pretty much be home. I've landed, I think, I want to say, Austin, it's about 4 or 5 Big Ten Plus games this year.
Ooh, okay, Stricky.
So yeah, so from November, I would be doing the one, but I was already pre-engaged to go to a birthday event. So, but yeah, about 4 or 5 games. Looking forward to that, man. It's gonna be fun again.
We are so close to the start of college basketball season. It is right around the corner. It is about that time. I'm sure we will talk plenty more about that here in the weeks to come. Still college football season, though. That's still where we're at. That's where the focus of the nation is. We do have a good number of responses here on our Sutter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Before we get to those, though, Strick, let's start in the Big Ten. A lot of weird, a lot of wild, a lot of wacky. First of all, tip of the cap to Rutgers. Greg Schiano, year 4 back there, has the Scarlet Knights Bowl eligible. Gavin Wimsatt goes nuts, and they beat Indiana 31-14. Michigan State, we talked a little bit about 49-0. Michigan romps. Penn State, Ohio State. You talked on the Penn State aspect of it. I'm with you. They choked. It was in their fingertips. They let it go. Should have had that defensive touchdown that got called back for a penalty. I think that swung the game, and Penn State never really found a way to respond from there. This is not an Ohio State team that we're used to. Led by the defense with an okay offense. That's really Marvin Harrison Jr. 11 for 160 and a tutty.
Yeah. Come on, Austin. Austin, that's the one guy that can kill you, and you let him go for 160.
You let him.
Like, what are you doing? Yes, 200. Yes. He had, of the 286 yard, he had 162 of it, almost all of it. Mm-hmm. And you lose by 8 points because, my boy, let me just be quiet. That's a frustrating thing to watch that. I mean, I'm going to say that's watching that when I was watching the game is probably just as frustrating as me sitting in the building watching the Dallas Mavericks when I was working with them with the ability to go up, I want to say 3-1 against the Miami Heat in 2006. Mm-hmm. And watching them let Dwayne Wade go absolutely bonkers. Like I'm telling everybody, I'm like, are y'all serious right now?
Were you about ready to jump back courtside?
I no, that's how I felt. I'm like, I wanted to go in the locker room and put on a uniform. Like, I'm like, at least I'm gonna put we gonna either fight or I'm gonna put an elbow in his chest on one of those shots he's taking. You not shooting like this, my boy, without me doing something to you. It's crazy to me that they let him go bonkers like that. That's what I felt about that game right there. You freaking let the one guy that can kill you go nuts. It was crazy. Crazy watching Marvin Harrison Jr. do what he did to him.
Is this the best Ohio State team of the Ryan Day era? Probably not. But the fact that they're different, I think, Strick, the fact that they stopped Penn State's run game to the degree that they did, I think gives Ohio State a much better chance against Michigan than I would have given them at the beginning of the year.
I agree. I absolutely agree. The resilience of skating by Notre Dame was huge for me. I think that was a huge confidence booster, not just for the players, but for the staff. You know, because I can imagine they were on pins and needles wondering what the heck is going to happen if we not only lose this one, but if we lose that one that's coming, like what's going to happen to us. So I can imagine it's easier to lose the one because you got a chance to redeem yourself. But good gosh, you would have lost the Notre Dame one and that one.
I don't want to write off James Franklin. He's a really good coach, but that's all he is. He's really good. He's not elite. And that's where I respect him wanting to build at Penn State and get it done there. But from a business perspective, Strick, maybe he should have, if there was legitimate interest from USC and LSU, taken one of those jobs, because I can only imagine how frustrated that fan base is with him. I mean, he's doing at Penn State really better than what Bo Pelini did at Nebraska. They've been on that doorstep so many times, but they can never win the one game that they seem to need to. They're going to go 10-2 every year, lose to Ohio State and Michigan, be really good, but never good enough, even with their best teams.
Yeah. 402-464-5685, because I was on the text line engaging with someone. And one of the things I said was Penn State is like Tennessee in the SEC.
Ooh, talk to me. Bring it.
They're good and good enough to win, but they just, you see Georgia and you see Alabama and you wilt. You know what I'm saying?
Tennessee's up 20-7, and they let Bama rip off 27 unanswered points. Ow.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Now, I want to know who's those teams like that. That's why I throw it out, 402-464-5685. Who are those other teams in other conferences? The ACC. Who is that in the Pac-12? Who is that in the Big 12? Who is that team for you that you can say is like the Penn State or the Tennessee of the SEC, the two big conferences? Who is it to you?
So in the ACC, they don't have nearly the football history, but North Carolina tricked it off against Virginia. They get on the doorstep, they get so close to winning the conference, and there's one game that comes up and gets them every year.
Every year, man. Yeah.
The Duke fan in me likes to laugh at it, but at the same time, it's one win and you're there. In the Pac-12, Strick, I don't think there's an answer other than USC because of that defense. They get the hype, they put up the offensive numbers, but then they face Utah and they fold. Maybe they beat, Washington or Oregon here or there, but if they face Utah, it's all over. USC hasn't been back to that pinnacle since 2004, 2005, when they were playing Texas in the Rose Bowls. So USC is the easy answer for me out of the Pac-12. In the Big 12, I think the cop-out answer to some degree is Texas. Oklahoma has made the college football playoff, but never broken through in there, right? Oklahoma and Michigan are kind of in that same boat. So maybe it's one of those two teams. I just don't think there's enough of a football powerhouse outside of those two to say it's anyone else in the Big 12.
Well, let me ask this question. Did I not say that it was going to be Utah that gets USC?
You did.
I said it was definitely going to be them, and if it's not them, it's probably going to be Oregon. But Utah, never fails.
No,
never fails. Utah, and then Utah's a trickery. They'll trick off the bunch too. They're one of those teams that'll get in there, look good, and I can't really fault them this year, Austin, because Rising was out. I'm not mad. That quarterback's the spot, man. You got to have it, and that's why I'm still a little bit hesitant about Nebraska. I still want to see Harburg continue to develop.
I'm with you on that. Looking elsewhere in the Big Ten, let's go back to the Big Ten real quick here, Strick. The Big Ten West is completely up for grabs because of what happened this weekend. Illinois had a chance to throw one of the biggest wrenches into this race, and they trick it off. They're up 21-7 going into the fourth quarter. They give up essentially a walk-off touchdown pass to a left tackle. Not a tight end, not a wide receiver, not a running back, to a left tackle. They messed that up. And Iowa almost out-Iowa'd itself. You have 2 yards in the second half. You think you get a punt return touchdown out of Cooper DeJean all the way from the left sideline, brings it all the way back around to the right. The explanation I've seen on that is that once the ball bounces and you've made a motion, you can't advance it. It was interpreted as a fair catch signal, and the ball had bounced. Add that up, it's dead where you catch it. That's why you can't return it. It gets wiped off the board. Iowa, of course, doesn't even get close to field goal range after that. The Big Ten West is a jumbled mess. Wisconsin right now is your leader, thanks to beating Illinois. Iowa, a half game back after the loss, but Minnesota, Nebraska, Illinois, even maybe Purdue, depending on how this weekend goes, are all mathematically still alive in this race, and it's kind of nuts.
Bro, just help me to understand how Daniel Jackson from Minnesota, help me to understand this, right? How does Daniel Jackson have 101 yards and Kaliak Manis only had 126 yards?
Darn if I know, Stricky. I don't know.
I mean, make it make sense to me. I don't know, man. It's a lot of weird stuff going on right now, bro, out in this college football landscape. And I just don't know how to make any semblance of it or anything. I just don't know what to even say about it. It's just wild to see some of that stuff like that.
I'm with you. Okay, turning our attention back national. Some of these top teams, Strick, that are fighting for a college football playoff appearance didn't look good. Washington has the huge win over Oregon last week. And Strick, you and I both said that this game being at home really helps Washington. I thought they would look much better than they did. 15-7 is all they beat Arizona State by. That takes quite a bit of helium out of that balloon for me.
But then we talk about it, though. We talked about teams that are not necessarily let me hopefully get the right word. Their programs aren't established. Their identities aren't fully established, right? And they can sometimes have these little falls where they play down or up to their competition. And then you basically expend all of your emotional capital and then you come in because you know this team is not very good, and then you end up in a freaking dogfight. And it happens in basketball all the time, where you start settling, just start shooting jumpers, and you're not really trying to attack and spend energy, and you just think you're going to coast through it. And then all of a sudden they get hot and they run off a run on you of 10, 15 points, and now you're behind. It's the same thing in football to me. And I think that's the show of a good team, and that's the lessons that you can teach from it is what happened to, like, because guess what? You could easily be on the other side of that and think you're going to just walk in and turn the lights on. It's not going to happen.
It's not. In the Big 12, we had two of those games. Texas got out to a 21-0 lead over Houston, led the Cougars right back in it. They do enough to hold on at the end, so Texas wins. Oklahoma trailed a good chunk of the game against UCF, who hasn't lived up to the hype coming in from the American. UCF marches down the field with a shot to tie the game down 31-23. They get the ball in the end zone, but they don't get the 2-point conversion. I thought Oklahoma, had a chance to sneak in, but someone might get Oklahoma. And by virtue of Texas having lost to Oklahoma, I'm going to predict that the Big 12 doesn't get a team in the college football playoff again.
I think that could be a good prediction. Like I say, man, it's scary to watch this team, UCF team at home shouldn't have even been on the freaking field with you. You should have been resting by the third quarter if you really would have done your job. So yeah, it's a dangerous combination, and I don't think they get out unscathed either.
The other interesting game from your top 5, top 10 range nationally was a top 25 matchup between Florida State and Duke down at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Duke jumps out to a big lead. They let Florida State back in it with a kick return. They're only up 20-17 at the half. And then Riley Leonard gets hurt again. Strick, I had forgotten that it was after Notre Dame had converted the 4th and 16 to go ahead against Duke. After that play is when Riley Leonard got injured, missed some time, comes back against Florida State. He's hurt again. Duke was rolling with him there, but Florida State did exactly what it did against LSU. Didn't play its best game in the first half, exploded in the second, especially the fourth quarter here for Penn State, where they put up 21 unanswered points in the second half, all coming in the fourth quarter. Florida State hasn't really dominated wire to wire in a game, but it's that explosiveness that you never know when that run's going to come. It's honestly kind of like Steph Curry Warriors-esque, where you just always have to be ready for them to make that big pop and run away with it.
Yeah, and they don't really have, like, to me, I don't know if it's like they have a large swath of big super play guys outside of Jordan Travis who can, he could do it with his feet or
Keon Coleman.
I mean, I like Keon Coleman. I think he has the abilities. But I think if you shut them down, you can short him down, meaning don't let him get in the big play zone. It forces them to get in the dink and dunk mode, and I think that's where you have a chance to beat Florida State. Sure. You keep Travis from using his legs. Obviously 62 yards in that game on 10 carries. That's what he's going to do. That's how he's going to hurt you, and this is how he's going to create more time to create big plays. But I think if you keep him in the pocket and you force him to make decisions, I think he's a good enough quarterback to do it. But I also think that's a blueprint to help you to beat them if you can get them.
I'm with you there. Oregon beats Washington State. Good bounce back from the Ducks. Washington State, now that's 2 losses in a row. They're 1-3 in Pac-12 play. Ole Miss survives Auburn on the Plains 28-21. Running Rebels take down the Tigers. LSU dominates our troops. Army goes down 62-0. Missouri, pretty big win for them. They pull away in the fourth quarter. Air Force does get its starting quarterback, Zach Larrier, back. They win over Navy 17-6. And UCLA, no issues with Stanford. So a lot of good stuff going on out west. We're going to go to break a minute or two early here. I went a little long with Sam McEwen yesterday in the Husker Extra Hour. Sam and I talked some Nebraska Northwestern, what to make of the defense's performance, Heinrich Harburg's struggles, and yet winning. So more of what Strick and I talked about. You'll hear Sam McEwen of the Omaha World Herald, his take on the Huskers' 17-9 win over Northwestern when we get back.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers 118th anniversary sale is going on right now. This sale only comes around once a year, so don't miss your chance to save 20% or more on everything diamond. Bridal and engagement rings, bracelets, earrings, and all diamond jewelry, 20% off or more. Our lowest prices of the year, now through October 25th, only at Sutter Heyman's 118th anniversary sale. Lincoln and Grand Island or SutterHeyman.com.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for high-quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Be sure and call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technician will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's The Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, The Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Are you looking for a night of epic fun without breaking the bank? Look no further than Sun Valley Lanes and Games. Join us for our late night special every Sunday through Thursday night and enjoy non-stop action with our Unlimited Fun promotion. Unlimited Fun includes everything you need for an unforgettable night out. Unlimited bowling, unlimited laser tag, and unlimited lucky putt mini golf. Show a valid college or military ID at check-in and get $2 off your admission. Visit the daily rates page at sunvalleylanes.com for complete details.
Sun Valley.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with menudelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Strick and Austin back with you here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Normally we would talk to Brian Munson of Husker Online for a recruiting update. This time Brian's got some family stuff going on. We wish him and his family the best. So instead of that, what we're going to do is replay a conversation I had yesterday as part of the Husker Extra Hour. We talked to Sam McEwen and Tom Chattel every week at 4 and 4:30 respectively. Good stuff from Sam yesterday. Sam joined us on our Allo VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Without further ado, my conversation with Sam McEwen from the Husker Extra Hour yesterday. Big thanks to Allo Fiber for sponsoring our VIP line at Allo Fiber. They understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We go there right now, and we do welcome in Sam McEwen of the Omaha World Herald. Sam, by the week, Nebraska looks more and more Big Ten West, fewer than 250 yards of total offense, but the Huskers find a way to squeak out with a 17-9 win. Uncharacteristic mistakes from Northwestern in key moments. Northwestern looked a lot more like Nebraska we've seen recently than Nebraska did. Matt Rule might actually have changed something. It's kind of incredible.
Yeah, Northwestern did have a couple of penalties that don't typically befall Northwestern, but Nebraska's defense answered the dinner bell over and over. I mean, Nebraska's defense has a really good defensive line, which we wouldn't have predicted before the season or 9 months ago. But it has improved, Austin. It's gotten better, and certainly Terrence Knight deserves some credit. Other people do too. But that group's been pretty extraordinary this season, and you got to tip your cap to what Nebraska's doing there and what they've done overall on the defense. They really play hard. They hustle, they run, they're aggressive, but they really play hard, and it's the kind of defense that I think people around here have been waiting for some time.
I agree. Let's start with the playing hard. We'll get back to the defensive line. 3 touchdown saving plays by different guys. You have Isaac Gifford getting touched by 2 different offensive linemen, but still knifing through to make the tackle. You have Omar Brown saving a touchdown on a run that really looked reminiscent of Greg Bell against Colorado, where the running back breaks into the open field but gets caught from behind. And then Malcolm Hartzog gets burned, but catches Bryce Kurtz before he can make it to the end zone. Mm-hmm. Not perfect execution from Nebraska on any of those 3 plays, but players stepped up in big moments and kept 3 touchdowns off the board, 3 game-changing plays.
For sure. Yeah. The Gifford play was extraordinary. And I think it was one of those kind of plays that typifies, who Gifford is and the kind of player he is. He peeled out of the blitz just at the right time go make that tackle. So he had the sixth sense that something wasn't quite right, and then he fought through a couple of guys to get there. And it was the best defensive play of the season that I've seen so far. So and Matt Rule pointed it out. Anytime Matt Rule points out a play, I mean it's notable. On the other two, you're just talking hustle. Obviously, the Northwestern running back is a big guy and probably wasn't going to make it to the end zone, but Omar Brown got to him, and then Hartzog was able to run Kurtz down. And Northwestern they struggle in the red zone. Obviously, when you compress that area down there, Nebraska just gets really tough. They have a good defensive scheme for the red zone. I can't remember what their red zone touchdown percentage is right now, but it's not real high. And they do a nice job of making it hard on teams. So Nebraska's doing a lot of things right now. It's defensively they are. Now they're not playing great teams.
Right.
There aren't a lot of great offenses in the Big Ten, and Michigan might be one. Probably. They're going to face a couple down the stretch. I mean, I think Purdue's got ability, and they're probably spent the week thinking about how they can fix some of their mistakes. Some of their mistakes are just related to ball security. And then Maryland's got some stuff going on too. So Nebraska will get challenged a little bit, I think, down the stretch here. But certainly for the most part, Nebraska's defense has held its own all the way and has played very well in a lot of games.
There's a lot of similarities between this defense in 2021, just in terms of storylines and getting put in some bad situations and having to bow up time and time again. Eventually, that 2021 defense would break and Nebraska would lose a one-score game. But each of the last two games for Nebraska, even go back and point to a couple plays early at Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech, this defense has stood up. I think you credit the players, but I think the messaging from Tony White and Matt Rule for not giving those guys an excuse. I mean, hearing, I think it was Prince Will and Monreal say it's just an excuse to get back on the field. We're looking forward to it. We don't like our offense turning it over, but it's an opportunity, a chance for us to play more football. Is it just that mindset that's made that big a difference in just 2 years?
Some of it, I think, is the mindset. I think that's a little bit of it. I would say that some of it is they're eating a little more time off the clock on offense. They're not necessarily leaving the defense in better positions, but the defense is facing fewer plays. The clock changes have affected it. And then Nebraska's special teams is not god-awful. And it was in 2021. People may forget some of that. Nebraska's defense, I think the special teams gave up 7 points against Michigan State, 7 points against Iowa. I think there might have been 2 against Illinois, 2 against Oklahoma. There might have been another one.
Was there a kick return against Wisconsin?
Yep, 7 against Wisconsin, and there might have been another one in there. I don't really remember, but Nebraska's special teams was maybe the worst that we've ever seen it. And the Michigan State game and then the Illinois game, that was the most deficient collection of special teams moments I've seen in Nebraska football history. And so, to be clear, there's other things that have gotten better because they've gotten a little bit more competent. Now there's still 5 games left. That could change, but I think for the most part, Nebraska's getting better in some areas. And, they're not killing themselves in some areas. They're not hurting themselves as much. I think that's positive. But again, there's still a ways to go. This thing is not over yet, and Nebraska has won 4 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they could lose their last 5. It's possible. So you can't really let off the gas pedal here. And I would dare say that if they did against Purdue what they did against Northwestern in the first quarter, I don't think they win the game. I think Purdue puts 10 on the board. Maybe not 14, but they'll put 10. They got better football players than Northwestern, especially on offense.
Mm-hmm.
So Nebraska's not going to be able to do that against Purdue. Purdue's a better offensive team than Illinois and better than Northwestern. So that's something Nebraska will have to take into account.
Nebraska's best 4-quarter performance for my money this year was Northern Illinois. They played 3 better quarters against Northwestern after that first quarter. But the fourth quarter against Illinois, they had plenty of chances to let it slip. So if you play another one of those 2, I think Purdue's in the game. Circling back to that defensive line, though, Sam, we talked a lot in the offseason about the 3-3-5, but we have to remember, too, that Tony White and Matt Rule said, we want to get our best guys on the field. Tony White and his defensive staff, Terrence Knighton on the D-line, said 5 defensive linemen might just work against a mediocre Northwestern offensive line, and it did. 8 sacks. They dominate that last drive of the game. They finished the game with a sack. What did you make of the 5-man defensive front?
Well, it's effective when you're in a situation where you're able to rush the passer on 3rd and long consistently, which Nebraska was able to do. So they Northwestern, you don't usually run tempo going into 3rd and long, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. So there were circumstances where, Northwestern was in 3rd and 3 and they had a false start. I think that happened 2 different times. And at that point, you rotate your defensive lineman onto the field and you go after the quarterback. And so there were some circumstances that I think helped get all 5 of those guys on the field. I know Northwestern wanted to run tempo, but it wasn't always easy. I thought it worked. And again, I think it probably would work against a number of teams. It's a question of whether you can get manageable or long yardage situations that make it less risky. On third and 3, there's a lot of different things the team can do, and that defensive line may not get back there. But when they're able to pin their ears back and just go, I thought it was effective. So they're doing a nice job with mixing and matching personnel, and they have a pretty good idea. And again, the moment in time, the Big Ten West is bad. Offense in college football isn't real good right now. There's a few teams that are really good, but in general, it's not. I think what you're seeing is that a lot of the elite offensive players and offensive tackles and quarterbacks and other things, they're leaving school and going to the NFL, and you have these other kids that are, now in their 4th or their 5th, or in some cases their 6th year because of COVID, and you're just seeing the defenses get way better. And so, we're going to have a couple more years of this, because if you were a freshman in 2020, that year didn't count. And so that wasn't even your redshirt year, even if you didn't play. So 2021, your redshirt, that was your redshirt year. So you've got 3rd-year redshirt freshmen in 2022, 4th-year redshirt sophomore in 2023. Maybe they're not good enough to play in the NFL, but they're good enough to stick around college for 6 years. I think you're going to see college football remain defense-heavy until this whole thing, the whole COVID process, washes out. And it's not going to wash out till 2026.
Woo.
Because anybody that comes into a program in 2020, they didn't have, that year didn't count, and then 2021 could be a redshirt year, and you can legitimately have 6th-year seniors playing in 2025 who are 24 years old. And a lot of times on offense, those guys are gone. They're gone by then. They just aren't around. There's a couple quarterbacks, Tanner Mordecai, a few others, but a lot of times those defensive players, if you can keep them around for 6 years, you'll keep them around for 6 years. In this case, I think that you're going to see more and more of that. Whereas, Caleb Williams is gone. Drake May is going to be gone. Jaden Daniels is going to be gone. Phoenix is in his 6th year, so he'll be gone anyway. But a lot of the great quarterbacks are going because they're going to the NFL. So Nebraska is going to benefit from this for a while, and I think they're going to be good on defense for a while if they can keep all these guys in the fold.
It's a similar trend in college basketball as well, where if you can get a bucket, you're going to the NBA. But that's why I think Nebraska basketball stands to benefit with an older team. That's a different conversation for a different time.
Agreed. No, I agree with you for sure.
The man in the middle of the defensive line, back on Husker football, Nash Hutmacher, maybe his best statistical game with those 2.5 sacks. He's really come into his own this year. What do you make of his scheme fit in this 3-3-5? Is this the version of Nash Hutmacher we were promised a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Corey Campbell. Matt Rule, credited Kristen Coggin too, the nutritionist, which, yes, for sure. I think Corey Campbell has made Nash Hutmacher a more agile player, though, and I don't know if food can do that, but maybe that helps in the process. But Campbell's really done a good work with Hutmacher because, Nash has always been really hard to move. He's a hard person to block. He didn't always make plays, though. And what's happened is he's become agile. And I think he's maybe moved away a little bit from the pure brute strength, can't move the guy wrestler to this, like this is a football player. This isn't a wrestler who happens to play football. This is a very active, quick twitch football player who's really hard to block. And, centers are struggling with him because he's not small. He's 325, but he's also not, you can't get your pads into him very easily, because he's a little compressed. He's 6'2". For example, Ruquan Buckley is a taller guy, and you can get into him a little bit because he's taller. Jordan Riley was the same way. These were good football players. Jordan Riley's in the NFL, but Huntmaker's hard to get a hold of because he's not real tall. He's about 6'2.5", but he's agile and he's strong. So it's a challenge for linemen to. He can play over some guys. He can play under some guys. There's some things that he's doing really well that are just challenging now that he can move. And 6'2", 6'3", 300-pound linemen who can move are really valuable, even in the NFL. And I think Nash is going to get some looks now. Now it's possible he comes back. I could see that happening. I think one more year like this would put him in really nice territory, but he's going to get some looks after the season based on what he's done so far, because that's a guy that's the guy who can play the run or the pass. It reminds me of Malik Collins. Malik was like that too, and about the same height, also a wrestler. So I think Nash is comparing favorably at this point to Malik.
I like that comparison in terms of the play on the field, but in terms of the decision ahead of him, maybe more Vincent Valentine-esque. I think Valentine could have been served by another year back in school.
Yeah, sure. Vince, I think was going to go because he wasn't going to play for, and of course that guy left anyway, but he wasn't playing for that coach again, and the guy at the time, and Vince was, I think he had different interests, and so. He wanted to get going. Malik had a family to support. Mm-hmm. If he had come back, he probably would have been a first-round pick, but he wanted to go. And Malik had the work ethic. Yeah. I think Malik was just in general a better football player than Vincent Valentine, but he also had the want to, which is why he's still in the league. And he's on, I believe, a third contract. So Nash, I think, will be that kind of player, and Ty Robinson is going to play in the NFL for sure. I mean, Ty's good. He's not getting as much pub this year because he has a slightly different role, but he played really well on Saturday. And I dare say he played better than Nash. And he's going to keep coming so long as he stays healthy. I think you're going to see a lot from this line over the last 5 games of the year, but you're also going to see them play some teams where their quarterback can get the ball out.
Right.
And so they're going to have to get a little tighter on their coverage. And if Nebraska's, they don't have many weaknesses on defense, but they play man-free coverage, so you can beat them deep. That's one thing that happens. The other thing that they will do is if you can get a little bit of time, those linebackers don't always get quite the right drops, and they're not huge. So they're not 6'5", Urlacher in a zone. You can get it over those guys, but most of these teams they're playing just don't have the ability to hit their tight end. I mean, Nebraska has not really been hurt by a tight end. Outside of Michigan. I mean, they've been pretty good against guarding that middle pass.
A tight end could have hurt Nebraska down towards the end of the game, but Sullivan held on to the ball against the blitz, and then Hartzog blew up the same play on back-to-back plays to prevent a touchdown. We're talking with Sam McEwen here of the Omaha World Herald on the Husker Extra Hour. Sam, let's briefly touch on the Husker offense. Let's start at the quarterback position with Heinrich Harburg. Not his best game. I wasn't very impressed, but he learned a lot, I think, while still being able to win the game. And that, I think, is big, and that he wasn't at his best for any number of reasons with the injuries and an older Northwestern defense. But that's a gamer at quarterback, a guy that found a way to improve off a rough start and didn't let it bury his team.
I completely agree. Yeah, I mean, the things that Heinrich does well speak to his competitiveness and his resourcefulness. So he's pretty good on third down. I think he was over the line on the first third down conversion. It was very close. They didn't review it. I thought Northwestern should have challenged that. Mm-hmm. They didn't. But he's resourceful. He's pretty good at that. Like that, he was good at that in high school. He could move around the pocket. He could manipulate, run around, and he was good in that at high school. He practiced that in high school. He's still good at that. I think the areas where he can get better, and I'm sure he knows this, is when you know you've got a play that's teed up like that little reverse bootleg out comeback route, or it wasn't a comeback route, it was a wheel route. It might have been easier for him if it had been a comeback route, but it's a wheel route. You got to hit that pass. That was a big miss. That was his biggest mistake of the game. Maybe even more than the interception, the first interception. When your coach gives you a play that uses your athleticism, all you got to do is get that ball, 5 yards off the ground and it's general area, and you're not able to do it. That's a miss, and so they got to work on that. That was a miss. I think he can certainly get better at, when he hits the top of his drop, getting it out. Now they got a couple to Fedoni, just a couple of quick ones, which I thought was good. They need to do that more. You need to be able to throw the ball for a 4 or 5 yard gain, because you're just not going to hit 5 yard runs every single time on first down. So they hit that play. I thought that was good. He'll continue to grow, but he is good in improvisation, and he's certainly tough. And the option stuff, I encourage you to have. You guys got option quarterbacks and option running backs. I think they can tell you what he could do differently to make those plays work. I will say that on that 20-yard run, if he runs right at the Northwestern defender and presses the hole just a little bit, that's a touchdown, because he could pitch it, and Emmett Johnson has a clear lane outside the numbers to the end zone. The way that fans can tell what's going on those plays is to watch where the receivers are positioned. What the receiver expects to happen is probably what should have happened. And if people look at that play, they'll see that Nebraska blocked it beautifully downfield for a pitch. And Harvard's just going to have to continue to learn how that play's designed, and sometimes you pitch it early. On that one, I think what you do is you kind of press it until the guy gets right at you, then you pitch it, and it would have been a pretty easy score, to be honest with you. So those are all things that he'll continue to work on.
Not to cross sports references again, but it's like a 2-on-1 in basketball. Make the guy guard you. If he's not going to guard you, keep it. If he does step up to you, then that's when you pitch it. But I'm glad you brought up Emmett Johnson. I thought he was really impressive in the postgame press conference. I'm not going to lie. A couple of weeks ago, I was worried when Josh Fleeks was elevated above him on the depth chart that was kind of a message about what this coaching staff thought of him. But he gets the start. 12 carries, 73 yards, showed some toughness, showed some quickness. I think that's a step forward for Emmett Johnson. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought he ran hard, for sure. I think he's tough, not afraid. Most of these backs, including Emmett, the majority of their careers have been spent, in high school, and being tough at that level and running in between the tackles. And I think if Emmett plays 5 games and does that, I think he's going to feel the toll of it. And so you've got to find ways to make sure that you're getting him the ball in space, and that he's not getting rocked. And he didn't get rocked. I didn't think Harvard got rocked
a couple times. Yeah,
I thought, Emmett got hit hard a couple of times, but upper body and ribs and protecting that stuff. To me, it looks like Emmett, much like Ramir, is pretty well built in the legs and knees area, and he's probably not going to worry as much about a knee or a hip injury like Gabe Irvin's had, because Gabe's really heavy on the bottom and also heavy on top. But you got to make sure that you're protecting a back like that, and helping him to absorb the blows and know how not to take a big hit. So we'll see. It's maybe the hardest position to play in terms of just a complete lack of fear. You got to be a great athlete to play running back, an elite athlete, and then you just can't. You cannot be afraid for a half second, and you have to be probably the toughest guy on the field, because the abuse you're going to take at that position is significant. And we'll see. This was the first good game. Can he put together 5 of them, and can he stay healthy? Because Ramir Johnson could do all the things that Emmett was doing, but he got hurt, and Emmett's got to stay upright at 5'11", 190. We'll see if he does.
It's Sam McCune of the Omaha World Herald with us on our Allo VIP line. Sam, as always, appreciate the time. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk next week.
Take care, brother.
Once again, Sam joins us on our Allo VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll step aside, take a break.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. October is pork month, and here are the specials for the week of October 23rd. Enjoy all-natural, thick-cut Iowa chops for $1.88 per pound, extra meaty pork loin back ribs for $3.99 per pound, and bacon-wrapped pork tenderloin, 2 for $5 for 6 ounces of meat. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn. It's time to get the Class A high school football playoffs rolling right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, Nick Sainer. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night from Seacrest Field as number 6 Lincoln Southeast faces off against number 11 Lincoln East. When these two teams met back on September 1st, the Spartans won a double overtime thriller, 31-28 over the Knights. The winner keeps their season alive while the loser goes home. It's the Lincoln Southeast Knights against the Lincoln East Spartans this Friday night in the first round of the postseason at 7 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers 118th anniversary sale is going on right now. This sale only comes around once a year, so don't miss your chance to save 20% or more on everything diamond. Bridal and engagement rings, bracelets, earrings, and all diamond jewelry, 20% off or more. Our lowest prices of the year, now through October 25th, only at Sutter Heyman's 118th anniversary sale. Lincoln and Grand Island or SutterHeyman.com.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check.
Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores. So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's The Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, The Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time here during On the Block. Stricky's jumping off. We'll see him tomorrow. He'll be back in town. Looking forward to that. One guy is back in town, Jay Foreman. Welcome back.
Appreciate it, man. It feels good to be back. A beautiful day outside, too. 80 degrees. Nice little breeze after Victory Monday, back to back after a bye week.
Double Victory Monday for you. You saw one.
Yeah, I did. It was, I want to say congratulations again to my dad. He went into the Ring of Honor down there in the University of Miami, one of the original Canes, 1968. Obviously, after segregation, they opened up the down south schools to integrate, and you got to take some cojones to go down there and not know what's in store. And plus, Miami was not a very good football team then. And so he built it up from the ground up. Was, obviously All-American, career stands for itself. And that was the biggest honor, or highest honor that you get in Miami athletics. So it was good. Him, Jimmy Johnson, who was great, to meet, and Dennis Erickson, who was great. And, he recruited me out of high school and got to see some, I had a couple uncles that went there. So I got to see them and just see all the kind of, a lot of the players that, that I used to cheer for growing up. And, they all were grateful that my dad got in. So it was a good experience.
That's awesome. I do have to ask, obviously your roots run deep down there. How often do you go back and forth about 83 and 94?
1983?
Yeah.
About when Miami beat them?
Yeah, and then 94 when you struck back.
Yeah. Not much 83 when they beat. I was just like, that was kind of, Miami always kind of beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you this. I saw when Miami lost to Penn State in Arizona at Fiesta Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I cried like no other. I was in a fog for a week.
Rough spot?
Yeah, because that's all we used to do on Saturday. We were a Miami household.
Yeah. All
my blood uncles went there, and all my relatives that weren't related to me all went there. We were deep up in there, and it was it. And that was just our household. And so I remember talking to some of the players. I don't know. I think it was like Vinny Testaverde or Bernie Kosar was down there. I told them both. I was like, I don't know which one of you guys are quarterbacks. Y'all messed up my week. And they started laughing. So, and then 94 was good because, I went down there on a visit, and then, I ended up choosing Nebraska, and we ended up playing them. But they had some great players there, and we were obviously fortunate enough to win.
I'm sure you'll talk more about this on Old School, but Penn State keeps tricking it off.
Yeah.
They can't get over the hump.
Yeah, they can. Really, I think they had played really good football, and up until then. But they kept the chains on Drew Aller up until then. I think they only attempted 5 explosive passes all year. Then you tried to do that against Ohio State at Ohio State in the biggest game of the year. It just didn't work out well.
And they don't give those plays up.
They this year they don't, and they weren't able to run the ball effectively. So then that just kind of, allowed Ohio State to get after them a little bit. And, Ohio State started to get hot there. Marvin Harrison Jr. was unstoppable. And this was also a really good chance for them because Mbuka wasn't playing.
No.
But then guess what? Stover, the tight end, the converted defensive end, goes to tight end, catches that. Pretty much Randy Moss is the guy. Really kind of takes the air out of the sails of Penn State. For Penn State, it's disappointing. I felt like this is their best team, best chance to win, especially with, Ohio State struggling a little bit offensively. And they just weren't able to get over the hump. Now they're in a great spot to where they can really, rehab it and go beat Michigan, but it's going to be even a harder task just on the base of, how well Michigan's playing.
You can't really write Penn State off yet with only one loss, but Penn State has to beat Michigan and then have Michigan beat Ohio State. So they all have one loss, and you have to beat Michigan pretty handily and hope Michigan beats Ohio State pretty handily. Does this performance against Penn State make you think, Ohio State's got a better shot against Michigan? They seem more well-rounded, kind of like the Chiefs, right? Maybe a more well-rounded team, not as reliant on the offense. Is it Michigan's division, or does Ohio State still have something to say?
I think still Michigan's a little bit ahead of Ohio State. In talking, other people around the Big Ten, they felt like Penn State and Ohio State were right there together. After watching the Ohio State game, I think Ohio State's significantly better than Penn State. But I think Michigan's probably a little bit ahead of schedule than them. But Ohio State is they're getting better though. That's where they're scary. They have not peaked. I think Michigan is peaking right now. That doesn't mean they can't peak every week, but ultimately, they have to play Penn State. They have to play Ohio State last game of the year. I think if McCord keeps playing well, if they finally get healthy and they start to get that running game going and can move the ball, and then, they got the ultimate X factor out there in Marvin Harrison Jr. They get Mbuka with Fleming and Stover, Henderson, Williams, and McCord. And if that defense doesn't give up explosive plays and plays well against the run, Michigan's in some trouble. They're in some trouble. And so we'll see. I think everything's pointing towards this game. And, it's going to see who's going to come out on top. But I think I thought the gap was really big at the beginning of the season. The gap is closing every week, and it's closing in Ohio State's favor.
I wrote Ohio State off a little more than I probably should have after Notre Dame. I thought they were going to be a lot better than the Fighting Irish. Credit Notre Dame, who's looked better than I thought, but Ohio State proves it can win those ugly games, which it hasn't been able to in recent years. What else is coming up on Old School?
Well, we're going to dive in. Obviously, we're going to, recap and talk about the Nebraska game. Obviously, got some, unfortunate news coming out of there, but then we're going to, talk about the number 1 team or 2 team in the nation, Michigan, and how fast they rapidly suspended one of their employees. Now he's been at 11 other teams. I wonder something has to happen here, because obviously what they were doing wasn't just him going rogue.
Right.
Even though you suspended them, that's not enough. So to talk about that, and also I want to look at the view from Penn State and Ohio State. Is this the reason why you're able to kind of dominate us the last 2 years? Because there has to be something. Not a talent gap. So there's a lot to talk about. A little NFL news as well. And then next thing you know, the 2 hours will be over.
There you go. Jay Foreman back in the building, back from Coral Gables. We'll bring DEP in here next. For Strick, I'm Austin. This has been On the Block. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Be sure and call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technician will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by